although women in Japan were recognized as having equal legal rights to men after World War II. Economic conditions for women remain unbalanced. 5 Modern policy initiatives to encourage motherhood and workplace participation have had mixed results. 6 Women in Japan obtained the right to vote in 1945. 7 While Japanese women's status has steadily improved in the decades since then, traditional expectations for married women and mothers are cited as a barrier to full economic equality. 8 The monarchy is strictly males only, and a princess has to give up her royal status when she marries a commoner. Behavioral expectations in interviews with Japanese housewives in 1985, researchers found that socialized feminine behavior in Japan followed several patterns of modesty, tidiness, courtesy, compliance, and self-reliance. Modesty extended to the effective use of silence in both daily conversations and activities. Tidiness included personal appearance of a clean home. Courtesy, another trait, was called upon from women in domestic roles, and in entertaining guests, extended to activities such as preparing and serving tea. Weber's traits for internal comportment of femininity included compliance. For example, children were expected not to refuse their parents. Self-reliance of women was encouraged, because needy women were seen as a burden on others. In these interviews with Japanese families, Weber found the girls were assigned helping tasks, while boys were more inclined to be left with schoolwork. Weber's work has been critiqued for focusing specifically on a single. Although Japan remains a socially conservative society, with relatively pronounced gender roles, Japanese women in Japanese society are quite different from the strong stereotypes that exist in foreign media or travel guides, which paint the women in Japan as submissive and devoid of any self-determination. 14 Another strong stereotype about Japan is that women always stay in the home as housewives, and that they do not participate in public life. In reality, most women are employed. The employment rate of women, aged 15-64, is 69.6%, data from OECD 2018. During the 21st century, Japanese women are working in higher proportions than the United States working female population. Income levels between men and women in Japan are not equal. The average Japanese woman earns 40% less than the average man, and a tenth of management positions are held by women. Women are often found in part-time or temporary jobs. 77% of these jobs were filled by women in 2012. Among women who do work, women-only unions are small in size and in relative power. A common occupation for young women is that of office lady, that is, a female office worker who performs generally pink-collar tasks such as serving tea and secretarial or clerical work. Japan has a strong tradition of women being housewives after marriage. When mothers do work, they often pick up part-time, low-paying jobs based on their children's or husband's schedule. Taking care of the family and household is seen as a predominantly female role, and working women are expected to fulfill it. Nevertheless, in recent years the number of women who work has increased. In 2014, women made up 42.7% of the labor force of Japan. Japan has an especially high proportion of women who work part-time, and a majority of those women are mothers. In one poll, 30% of mothers who return to work reported being victims of maternity harassment, or matahara. The bento box tradition, where mothers prepare elaborate lunches for their children to take to school, is an example of a domestic female. The traditional role of women in Japan has been defined as 3 submissions. Young women submit to their fathers, married women submit to their husbands, and elderly women submit to their sons. Strains of this arrangement can be seen in contemporary Japan, where housewives are responsible for cooking, cleaning, child-rearing, and support their husbands to work without any worries about family, as well as balancing the household finances. Yet, as the number of dual-income households rises, women and men are sharing household chores, and research shows that this has led to increased satisfaction over households that divide labor in traditional ways. Families, prior to and during the Meiji Restoration, relied on a patriarchal lineage of succession, with disobedience to the male head of the household punishable by expulsion from the family unit. Male heads of households with only daughters would adopt male heirs to succeed them, sometimes through arranged marriage to a daughter. Heads of households were responsible for house finances, but could delegate to another family member or retainer, employee. Women in these households were typically subject to arranged marriages at the behest of the household's patriarch, with more than half of all marriages in Japan being preemptively arranged until the 1960s. Married women marked themselves by blackening their teeth and shaving their eyebrows. After the Meiji period, the head of the household was required to approve of any marriage. Until 1908.